want to arrest someone, if you want to investigate someone, you come in there. We had our next meeting that day. Nothing happened. We were there till 6:37 when we left. And all they did was come around 8 p.m., 8 to 9 p.m. to invade the place. So, on while we were still fuming on that, they came accusing Mr. President of sponsoring terrorism and all manner of allegations. He later came midday of that very day, and he was invited to the next day. So the NSC had to consult the lawyer, Falana, who wrote the police and said, number one worker in the country, the NSC president, you invite less than 24 hours and you want him to come answer questions on frivolity. So that he's going to come on 29th of August. And to that effect, we are waiting. We mobilized that day. We are waiting. If the president of NSC goes to police to answer that call, and they decide to be funny, this country will be a very, very, I don't know. I doubt what will be happening. The Labour is not going to fold their hands, and the president of the NLC being mesmerized. That Joe Ajaero is not saying anything or doing anything in his opacity. Whatever he says or he does is in capacity as the president of NRC. That very day we had our next meeting, all we said, all he came to brief the press was executive summary of what we reached during our next meeting. So he's not acting on his own, he's acting on behalf of the press. And we are strongly behind him. So whoever that decides to probably single him out and treat him as an individual is trying to see what the gunpowder can do. So we don't even know what gave rise to inviting our worker, the president of NSC, to come and talk on sponsorship of terrorism. Where? From where? About who? Where? In his house or in his office? Does he have the capacity to? His major business is to ensure the welfare of workers, and that is what he has been doing. So it's unfortunate that people could cook such stories. Of course, we know why it is.
All right, comrade. We understand that this summon, this invitation was sent to Comrade Ajaero via WhatsApp. And so my question to you would be, would this be the reason why the response that came from NLC for attend the summon was moved over to the 29th of August and he didn't respond immediately? Was it because of the route of correspondence, having the invitation sent through his WhatsApp and not through official channels?
Okay, I'm not aware of the invites going through WhatsApp. But then, are you not aware that you don't communicate of such a very high official document? You can send through WhatsApp. Any hacker can do that. So nobody should respond to that kind of message. Nobody. If you are invited by army or police or DSS or agent through WhatsApp, will you believe that? You wouldn't. However, Joe Ajaero is not a common that police should invite him in less than 24 hours and ask him to come to answer the sponsorship of terrorism. Even that body knew whether he's in Nigeria. He travels a lot. He's always on one mission or the other activity or the other. Because do you know that office? The office is occupied. And you are inviting him within 24 hours to answer to frivolities, questions that we ordinarily, everyone knows that it's baseless. It's baseless. So he wouldn't have answered because we don't even know whether he is in Nigeria, whether he's attending some meetings, whether he's outside the country, so on and so forth. He would have been given at least 3, 4, 5 days, if 1 week. He's a figure that cannot run. He can run. If you invite him to come in a week's time, he's going to appear. He is a figure that, where is he running to? Remember, he's the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress.
All right. So, comrade, so the official letter actually came in on the 19th of August, but you did to the fact that the comrade Ajero is going to respond to the on the 29th of August. Please, could you just on the reason for this delay, or what it take this long, or why NLC had to fix this date 10 days after the invitation came officially?
I think the essence is for the man to prepare himself. You know, like I said, he may not be in Nigeria as we speak. The time the invitation came, he may not be in Nigeria. I don't know where he is. I'm not here. He is my president. But I don't move around with him. I don't know, like actually, whether he's attending meetings, whether he has traveled or head snacks, whether he's there. So the essence is for him to prepare himself. If he had traveled outside, he come back. I don't know the reasons. But I know that giving him less than 24 hours to report, it's an aberration. So he had to get himself ready if the country has to fly in. If he is within the country, he had to arrange himself, get himself prepared to go and answer their questions. Like I said, you can only give such station to persons you know that they can invade such government. You're not the NSC president.
All right, comrade. Should things go undesirably, NLC has trade strike action. So what are those things that could go wrong, or what are the results if are not in place? The strike would be taking action on.
First of all, we know that the invitation is less. It is a tool to distract Mr. President and to destroy Labour Congress. You know, we have the issue on ground now is minimum wage and implementation. It has been passed into law, then implementation. They know that Labour is ready for the government if they fail to implement it within record time. And they had to come through this to distract him. So if he attends to that invitation and police decide to be forced, of course, we are all Nigerians and we're in Nigeria, maybe decide to detain him for even hours, then we will tell them that the constitution them rights to call people and investigate them, also give us right to operate as laborers, to operate as Nigerians. The constitution empowers us to join unions or organizations of our own choice and to do legitimate things. Then we will do that thing we know that is legitimate and legal.
So, comrade, you said you think that this is a distraction. Distraction from whom?
Distraction from government.
Distraction from the government to the president?
Yeah. Yes. Labour. When you said you cannot, let me tell you, it will be unfair to begin to separate Mr. Labour. Mr. President is the Nigeria Labour Congress. Nigeria Labour Congress is Mr. President. There is nothing he says or does that is not coming from all of us. Mr. President cannot wake up in the morning and declare strike. He cannot wake up in the morning demonstration and say we are demonstrating. There are more NEC. You have CWC will invite NEC. There will be an agreement to that effect that we are going to embark on strike. We are going to demonstrate, you know, to opponents, whatever agitation we're carrying out. So when you talk about the president as an individual, say he is operating in isolation, it's wrong. Mr. President operates in isolation. He operates within the limits, approvals of the NSC, of the National Labour Congress, of the Labour. So the distraction I'm talking about is that, like I said, more ways has been passed into law, Revenue Act 2024, law and act, depending on whether it's federal or state. And the next thing is about implementation. See, date, the start for implementation is not. This is something that would have been ready within 24, 48 hours. Over 2 weeks, the start is not yet out. Some states want to start paying whatever since the federal government have not released the tax, that would have been a benchmark for other states to take it. And they know that Labour is preparing, that if this thing continues, the delay continues, that we're going to shake the system. And I think they are thinking is that they need to embark on this distraction. So when Mr. President is distracted, the issue on which will relax, and they continue until when it's them to do the needful. That is where I'm thinking the distraction is coming from.
Okay.
And then look at fear. Look at the issue of fear too. Look at the issue of fear. The price of oil rising every day. Of course, you know, NSC wouldn't fold its hand and watch this thing continue. So to allow all these things, a free flow of all the activities, they have at NSC. Once they are distracted and you're fighting with police, quarreling with police, answering the questions of, questions that will arise with regards to terrorism, fighting for your life, you won't be talking about what's happening to an average Nigerian worker. I think that's done in place.
Okay, Comrade Fabian, I'll take you back to part of the question that my colleague asked when he said, after the NEC met, following this invitation and came out with a communique, one of the agenda was a strike action, a machinery of a strike action being put in. Some untoward things happened to Comrade Ajaero. So could you list some of the undesirable outcomes that can actually trigger the strike machinery in Nigeria?
Unlawful detention of Mr. President, the major factor. If they decide to keep him beyond the interview, we will react. They don't have to keep him. Because all of us truth, they don't have to keep him. If they decide to keep him unlawfully, we're going to react. Because like I said, Joe Ajaero is not Joe Ajaero when he is acting on behalf of NS. We had our NEC meeting and we have given a run, and he has come out to tell the world, the public, what we have agreed on. You don't treat Ajaero. During the end governance, what do they call demonstration, we were asked. I was called by 8 other state chairpersons, were invited, called, and asked would they want to join the end bad governance demonstration. We said we are not joining. Meanwhile, NSC members, workers, and Nigerians, if anybody decides to Nigerians what they are doing, that is the person's business. But NSC is not declaring any strike in this regard. It is Nigerians, and then the agents know who and who are the leaders of this program. In my state, we did not demonstrate. We didn't do anything, because it's not a labor thing. It's a Nigerian thing generally, and those who do have nothing to do that. So they made several attempts to bring this man victim, which they showed them that he's not part of it. Like I told them also, I am not part of it. I come out that period, other than going to my office, my workplace. Why would we demonstrate? Those who think and believe they need to go to streets and show the state, the government, that they are not happy happening, they did that. It is not business of NSC, whether it's or national.
All right, Comrade, could you share with us some other resolutions that came out from your NEC meeting, aside triggering action should Comrade Ajaero be detained? What other resolutions came out at the NEC meeting?
It was a one agenda meeting, one resolution. The agenda was to discuss the invitation sent to the president of NLC, and the resolution is that if police decide to be funny, that will not fold their hands. There are no other further, and the unions were directed to go and mobilize and be ready, and they have all mobilized. Everybody is for 29. It is our prayer that nothing funny happens. Nobody thrives or enjoys crisis or trouble except those who trade in it. That's not the business of the Nigerian Labour Congress. That's the business of Nigerian citizens. It made Nigerian citizens. So if on that day he was interviewed, and they continue the investigation or whatever they call it, we don't have problem with that. They have that constitutional right anybody to interview the person. But if you decide to cook something against a man, we're going to fold our hands.
All right, Comrade. Is there any evidence to challenge the allegation against Ajaero?
The evidence, Ajaero is a civil person. Ajaero have a record in NLC, does not elect criminals to lead them. NLC Ajaero has been in Nigeria Labour Congress for decades and cannot, as a result of his president, the position as the president of NLC, become a terror sponsor terrorism. So we know his records, we have followed his records. We did not just because we want to elect him, we elected him because he's a diligent person, because we know his records, because we know he's a civilized Nigerian, because we know he's a law-abiding. So that is it. That is our evidence. He cannot wake up a night and become a terrorist and start sponsoring terrorists. It's not in him. We have never seen anything like that. And like I said, NLC does not elect terrorists as their leader.
All right. I'm trying to rephrase this question that was posed to you by my colleague, and I want to know: has the police overtly or covertly put evidence to actually point towards some of the weighty allegations against Ajaero? Have they actually tendered any form of evidence pointing him towards cyber terrorism and all those weighty allegations against him?
I think it will come, if there is any, when he attends to the police invitation. Of course, police, we are not courts. Police cannot provide evidence to anybody, any individual, or produce evidence to you. Of course, if a man, a national, have committed offense of that magnitude, the person will not just receive a letter. You will not just receive a letter. You bundled to the police and you'll be interviewed. It's during the interview that those evidence will be made. So we all know that these are jokes, though these jokes have been taken. It's jokes, and it's been taken too far. Nobody will produce it. If police want to arrest you, maybe that you stole a car, the police will bring the car. You have been, unless if you're driving the car when police arrest, they will take you to the police station before they provide issues. Things before you, what they collected as evidence to you. So for now, there's nothing. I'm not aware of anything other than the love letter they wrote to him, trying to invite him. Then those jokes, I call them jokes, because like I said, NLC have never housed, NLC have never elected, NLC has been there. We have so many presidents, past presidents of NLC, not been declared terrorists. None of them have been, so any criminal act has been traced to. So why Joe Ajaero? Why now?
All right then, comrade. According to your word, NLC has never had a corrupt or who had a criminal record. So is the NLC open to the investigation? Are they cooperate with the investigation?
Where would they cooperate? Why he has told them it's going to come on 29th.
No,
that visit is part of the investigation.
Comrade, sorry. I'm just trying to get the whole picture. You've said that the NLC chairman is innocent, and these allegations has been made. Document, of course, can be present, diffuse or to dispute these allegations. But are you unwilling to cooperate with the police?
Ajaero is the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress.
Yes, of course.
And we're saying that his records, his past and present record, shown or suggested that he's a person of that character. However, going to the police is part of the investigation. We don't say he shouldn't go, so we're already cooperating. We said go to police, them, respond to their questions. We know him, he's capable. If they decide to be funny, remember my word. I say if police decide to be funny, they will not fold their hands. You're saying I said he's innocent, he's this, he's that. That is what I believe in. That's what I've said as a person. I'm not his client. But I'm saying what I have observed. Yes, I'm saying what I've observed in the past with regards to his life, with attitude. He's been leading us for the past 1 year. He has been in the labor. He was fighting for 4 to 8 years. And he has led other unions like NUE, his union. Years. You never had anything about crime against him or criminality against him. So if we saw the criminal now, we want police to prove that. And that's why we have allowed him to go. What we are saying, if he gets to police and there are evidence against him, we are not caught. And we are not the police. But we are saying things should be done, this is supposed to be done. If the right thing is done, NS is not against that. And that's why we're saying he should go and see the police, visit the police. And
Comrade, do you think this is politically motivated? Do you think it's a political move in such way?
I don't know what it is. So is that we are embarrassed by that invitation.
As a follow-up to this question, you took us through the build-up prior invitation from the police force to Comrade Ajaero, and how the police said they invaded the Labour House. However, it wasn't LC, but they had a person of interest who they were going after. How the NLC came out to say, okay, so you have to give us a formal ID for invading our space without an official warrant. And in response, Ajaero was slammed an invitation by the police. Do you think a personal vendetta?
When your colleague asks whether it's politically motivated, I don't know what they have in mind. I don't know, but I think police is out for a journey. I don't know the purpose. Because first of all, going to invading our office, the very next meeting, people were in the office till 7 p.m. and by 8, police appear. So it's just something. It points to something. They have some motives which is best known to them. I don't know. I'm not a police officer. I don't know what they have in mind. But that move puts a question. And just like you said when we say, you need to apologize to us. You did not send any search warrant. You did not notify the office. You have during the day when we were there. Even maybe the owner of the shop, maybe in the office then, the NSC president will be in the office, the general secretary will be in the office. How did everybody exit when you came and decided to, enter offices on your own without a search? And the NSC is thinking this is not normal, this is abnormal. They may have done something beyond. Of course, in our next meeting, we agree that they may have planted some objects. Because why wouldn't they come? You will see people you won't ask questions, people you won't investigate. Why didn't you come when they were there? Of course, you can arrest somebody and search his environment. Why would you come when the person had finished business and gone home? And so these things put question marks. That's what we are saying. These things raises issues. It raises questions here and there. As an average thinker, as a person with some level of personality, this raises alarm, raises question. What happened? I was here the whole of morning to evening, up to 7 p.m. My office. You came to search my office. Where you have rights and powers to come to the office. What are they to even arrest me and search my office? You didn't do that until I had gone. So then when we say you have to apologize for us for the you now said we are now sponsoring terrorism.
Comrade, thank you for spewing insights, but do you think that this is a ploy to silence the voice of Labour? We've seen Labour come out to, fight for the new minimum wage, which have signed into bill, but some states have not implemented. Do you think this is a way to the voice of Labour?
That is what it suggests, absolutely. That is what the whole scenario suggests, absolutely. And I said it. That one acted, you go to police, you respond to this, probably from there to court, and so on. You won't get to fight for the welfare of the workers. It's a bigger distraction. Very serious, well planned and designed. There's no two ways about it.
All right, comrade, we understand that during the raid, members of the police force carted away with resources and materials belong to NLC. Has there been an investigation into the material carted away, and has there been any form of investigation into any connections with the things taken away and the current, given to Comrade Ajero?
That incident, Mr. President and the workers have not returned back to that office. We decided that a forensic check and test in that office to ensure that people are safe, because the thing looks so dramatic. The whole thing looks so suspicious. The whole thing looks as if, some people are playing out designed and written, by some persons who have one or two things against the NLC. So since then, NLC have not, I think it was in a bookshop, they went and carted away some documents after the report. I don't work in the national office. So all these things are information coming to us via our meetings. I don't work there. I don't know what was taken away. They said some books were taken away at the bookshop, where they say that a foreigner is selling books, and he's selling books that discussing and so on and so forth. I don't know. So, to my best knowledge, no investigation is going on from the NSC side. Of course, like I said, we were still waiting for it to come when this letter came. So, I don't know if investigation going on from the part of NSC or anywhere. But we were duly informed that police came, the security man reported issues the way they happened, so entered into Mr. President's office, went to the bookshop, got some books and some materials, and went away with them. So we are not aware, I'm not aware the content of what police took away.
All right, Comrade, sir. Just to get to or to move over to the public perception, you said, of course, of this looks suspicious. But how do you think the public will perceive these allegations, the response of the NLC to the public?
When you talk about public, I don't know whether there will be a general place where people will come and begin to aid their view. About individual views, it depends on where the person is coming from. Those who are aligned with government decisions will have their own reasoning separately. Those who are aligned with labor will have their own reason. So it's on who is talking. It depends on the public in place you're talking about. I hate about the government public, those who decided to...
I'm talking about Nigerians.
To put in place. So Nigerians wouldn't support what is happening, because they know that the last hope they have now is that NLC. Let me be frank with you. If the NLC, by now we are buying for 1,800 to 2,000 naira a liter. We're still buying fuel at 980, 960, 1,002, depending on where you're in, because of the heat coming from the NLC. You are still buying rice less than 1,000 or 200 because of the heat coming from the NLC. And a whole lot of things. Workers are at minimum wage because of NLC. Remove NLC and the country will be in the greatest. So an average Nigerian, an average rational Nigerian will not be happy with what is happening to the NLC. I'm thinking, and that's what I believe. And that's what I know that an average Nigerian citizen will be looking at it.
All right, Comrade, the now Vice President of the NLC, Mr. Anthony, has come out to say that they have already set in motion strike machinery across Nigeria should anything untoward happens to Comrade. And you are a state secretary, Enugu State, I beg your pardon, Enugu State for the NLC. So could you throw more light on this activity and what is planned out? We don't pray for anything untoward happening, but should anything happen, what is this that has been set, that has been put on hold to be set in motion?
Yes, we're mobilizing, but I hope wait until that day. Like you said, and I also join my voices with praying that nothing happens. Because nobody thrives, no rational person thrives on that, chaotic situation or condition. I like it either. I don't like troubles, So the Nigerian Labour Congress, we are mobilizing. Like that very day he was invited, we mobilized. Those are the national. We had our negative directives to those at the national to mobilize and join him to the police. And same will happen tonight. So if they want to be funny, we will follow due process and do the needful. We follow due process. If your mother or your father is arrested unlawfully or detained unlawfully, what will you do as a president? Even the police is so funny that's doing this thing. NS is fighting for everybody. Not just the civil society, also the police, the army, everybody. Because as long as working to ensure that a worker receives what is due to him, have a condition of service and so on, it applies to everybody. Yesterday I was reading online where it was federal government have announced that both police and army will enjoy the minimum wage. Who fought for wage? Who got the minimum wage for the people? It's so funny, but you may not blame them. Like I said, you concern them to do what they are doing, just as it has empowered us to also do what we are going to do.
All right, comrade, we are not in the national, you're in the state council. However, I need to ask you this very question. It was known to us that eventually came to Comrade Ajero, didn't even address him as the president of the NLC. Do you think this was a mistake coming from the Nigerian police force, or do you think there's something more sinister? What's your reaction?
Okay, so you decided to ask me what I think. Like I said, I'm speaking for myself. It may be for the purpose of ensuring that he's treated as Joe Ajero as Nigerian Labour Congress president. But I want to tell you that you cannot separate these two. Wherever the judge is where the court is. If you say a high court judge, a court judge, sort of the Supreme Court, and want to treat the person as an ordinary citizen because he's not in the court, you'll be making a mistake. The law is going to bring you down. Because wherever the judge is where the court is. Wherever Joe Ajero is, whatever he does, he's doing it in his capacity as the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. And he remains, if you decide to address him by his village name or whatever you decide to address, still remember you are addressing the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress. You cannot separate these two until there's another election and he is removed. But now that he remains our president, Joe Ajero is the Nigerian Labour Congress versus the judge is Joe Ajero. So whether you address him as Joe Ajero Mr., Joe Ajero Esquire, Joe Ajero Chief, whatever you are addressing, you are addressing the president of the Nigerian.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. Lastly, from my own end, this has not happened before, of course, and this is happening. So what is the plan? After this, or after the police investigation, if it comes out well or comes out in favor of the NLC, what's the plan? What's your next step? What do you think the NLC step will be?
Individuals don't decide what NLC does. That was why I told you that Joe, I've never acted in his own capacity as Joe Ajero. I've always acted as the president of the Congress. I cannot tell you the steps NLC wants to take, whether for good or for bad. Because we usually come together. If we, after going to the police and after the interview, he left police for his house and not happen subsequently, we will still invite NEG. They will still invite NEG, which is the highest decision-making body, to come and review his discussion with the police. And then decisions will be. So if I now tell you this is what NLC will do, I'm anticipating this, I'm anticipating, it may not be right. It's a collective decision. It's not it's not decision. Like I said, Joe Ajero have never woken up in the morning or and say, let me declare strike. Let me declare demonstration. There must be a NEC meeting. There must be a CWC meeting. And at the end of the public will be briefed. There is always press briefing soon after that, wherein the public will be made to know what we are planning to do. Something any state council chair will tell you where any person that is doing that is on his own. I wait until we have come together and taken a collective decision.
Okay, comrade, before we let you, we have one more question for you. And should this strike act be set into motion? You know, before now we've had strikes that by the time it trickles down to the state, you have state actors and government clapping back on workers at state level. So should this strike action happen and state governments come to say no work, no pay for workers, what is the plan of the NLC to combat this eventuality?
Okay, I wouldn't want to preempt the state government's actions or what they will say or do, but since you have started to ask the question, NLC have a procedure of doing things. If you say no work, no pay, it has happened in the past, and at the end of the day, they will pay. Because we will not just wake up and embark or demonstration. There's always a cause. No worker, no worker will want to sit at home and earn salaries. Even it's in the Bible, suppose if you have not worked, you should not eat. You shouldn't benefit. And that principle and policy too. If I have not worked, I don't deserve to earn a thing. But you are protesting or demonstrating to ensure that the workplace is free for you. You are working. And nobody's to say that you no work, no pay. Somebody is coming out to the street to say what the government is doing is not right. We cannot. Is this staying in his house? Is he enjoying in a hotel? Is he drinking? He is at work. Because if you do not bring this issue up where he's supposed to be. So if you have started to come out to say no to injustice, he's at work. If you have come out to say no to e-plans against him or her, he's at work. So whoever that say no work, no pay, will be making it because the same person will decided not to be at his workplace wherever he's working for you.
Thank you very much for sharing your valuable insight with us today, Comrade Barrister Fabian Nwigbo. We appreciate your insight in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, this is the much we can take now.